So this is tutorial part 1 of 2, in which I'm going to be showing you how to use the vault door textures which I've made to make your own vault doors. There's a few things that you'll need, at least for this part of the tutorial. First, you'll want to get the files from Fallout 3 Nexus. At the moment, this seems to be the URL where you will go to, but if not, you can just search on Fallout 3 for these files. And once you have those, you also want to get an image editing program. Now, I use the GIMP, but there are very different programs out there you can use. The files I've saved are all saved in a Photoshop format, and so you'll want something that can at least read those files. With these files, what you want to do is open them up for editing. The first file that I'll be editing here is the gear door. That's the one that's on the outside of the vault that you first see. And I've labeled that file vgeardoor 0 blank. Now, the way that I've saved these files is to actually put all of the numbers that you'll need for numbering the doors onto various different layers. And at the moment, those layers are all invisible, but you'll see what will happen is if I bring one of those layers up, if I make it visible, then that number will show up on the texture, as you can see here. And as I turn on layers, you can see the numbers showing up. And that's pretty much how you'll add whatever number you want to your vault. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use the numbers 1, 2, 3. 2 in the tens place, 3 in the ones place, 1 in the hundreds place. And at this point, I'm going to save the file this way. Once it's saved, I'm ready to go ahead and play with this file to make it something that the game can use. To do that, what I'm going to do is use a program called DDS Converter, but you have different options depending on what kind of program you're using to edit the textures in the first place. Now, whatever you use to convert your Photoshop file to the DDS format that Fallout 3 can use, you'll want to pay attention to the options that you've got set. The kind of DDS file that you want to make in order for Fallout 3 to use it will be DXT3 or maybe even 5. And you'll remember you want to build bitmaps. Any of the other information won't be important. You won't want to save any alpha. You won't want to add dithering. What other options are there you probably don't want? And I can see my file here, it's got the right numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and convert it now to a DDS format. There we go. Now, an important part of this is that I'm going to want to change my file names. And notice there's a couple of files here that look kind of similar. I have this file vgeardoor blank, and also one that looks the same except for it has this _in at the end of it. This _in file is fairly important because it gives us some information in the game about depth effects on the object in the world, as well as the specularity, the shininess of it. So I'll want to change the name of both of those files to something that kind of reflects what the texture actually is. In this case, I'm just going to name it vgeardoor 1, 2, 3. And so likewise, I'll also want to change the vgeardoor _in file to reflect the same kind of name change. Right, that looks right. So now I'm all ready to change the NIF file, the mesh, so that it now has this texture in it, so that I can put it in my game. And that'll be in the tutorial part 2.